Hi everyone, welcome back to my Closet Confession podcast where confessions become connections. And tonight is going to be a lot of confessions. So tonight's episode is about relationships. I should really have a drink with me, but anyways, I want to talk about my different relationships throughout my life, my long life, and what I've learned from them, what mistakes I made, what I'm not going to do again, and red flags, everything. So let's start with my first love. So I was probably like in fourth grade, and my first ever crush was a guy named George. Shout out George. I even remember how I started like liking him because we were in the same class for like 3 years, but I never really cared. I wasn't not very interested, didn't really care. And I remember one day during a break that he came up to me and he said, "Hey Maria, I really like your hair like that." So that was the moment that I'm like, "Oh, I never saw you this way." So yeah, I was very shy as a kid, and especially when it came to like personal stuff. So I started like having a crush on him. I never said anything to anybody. I just kept it inside, and that's what I thought I had to do. I thought that you're not supposed to say anything. You're not supposed to let other people know. Anyway, so I ended up keeping it to myself for years. And guess what? He ended up being my twin sister's first boyfriend. So, yeah, that sets the tone for the rest of my relationships, as you can imagine. So, I never said anything. And in my head, because we're twins, I mean, it sounds terrible, but in my head, I was like, well, he likes my sister, so if he wasn't for my sister, he would probably like me. So I was okay with the idea that he would like me. I mean, it's crazy, but again, I was super young. Anyway, so I think that I told him like years later, like I don't know, like 10 years later when I was just visiting Grace from London. And well, he was very different, but he would always be my first crush. I have him in my heart. I still love him. And it's just like a nice memory. Okay, second relationship is not gonna be fun. The memories are not great, and yeah, if I could have turned the time and changed it, I would. So, second relationship and I'm talking about like real relationship with like sex and everything, like complete relationship. It was when I was in London in college actually. So went out one night. I'm a flirt, so I really like to go out and flirt, and that's it. I wouldn't really go to anybody's place and sleep with anybody, but I am a flirt, and that's like the way of communication with other people. I flirt with guys, I flirt with women. That's the way I am. So I went to this bar that we used to go all the time with my twin sister, and they told us that we can only pay cash upstairs. And we're like, what do you mean upstairs? We've been coming here for like years, and we had no idea there was a second floor. So we went upstairs, and it was very busy because it was happy hour. So the only place that we could stay was next to these two guys. Yeah, one of those guys, even though I was terrible to him that day because he's British, and I was telling him how I can't wait to go to US, and I love their accent and everything. I was terrible to him, but guess what? He asked for my number in the end, and I didn't really think much about it, but because I didn't really find him attractive on my time. Anyway, so we ended up going on a date. I don't know how you made that, and ended up in a relationship. But he is a narcissist. So you can imagine how fun that relationship was. Yeah, so it was my first relationship, real relationship. So I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I didn't know how to like communicate things with him. I was scared that if I would say something, I would lose what I had. And I thought that that was it. I would get married to this guy. So yeah, living with a narcissist is terrible. It's not fun. Can create a lot of trauma. I talked about that in my previous episode. And together for 3 years, I ended up having anxiety and panic attacks because of him. But what I learned is to set boundaries and prioritize myself, because these were the mistakes that led me to all this anxiety and panic and everything. So I did learn a lot, but if I could turn back the time, I would. This is one thing that I have regretted, but you're not supposed to. Anyways, okay, so let's move away from this bad vibe. Third relationship. So that's a very sweet one again. So I had just broken up from this narcissist, and all I know is neglect, is crying, it's just bad stuff. And I met this guy in Greece at a gym. So we started out as friends. And that means that we were nice to each other, we were true to each other. And then we became best friends. We were together all day, talked about everything. And one day I just, opened up and I said, it's the way you treat me is so nice, and how closer we've come. And I told him that, I have feelings for you more than friends. And he actually told me that, well, we can't really be anything because you're going to LA. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Obviously, I was planning on coming to LA, and he lives in Greece, and we were in Greece at that time. So yeah, I don't know. I don't even know why I told him, because there was no really future with us, because he wanted to live in Greece, and, who am I to ask him to move all the way to the States? So I get it. But I really wanted to take it out of my chest, because my whole life I kept things inside, even with the first guy that I had a crush on. I just kept it inside, and I'm like, I can't be doing this anymore. I wasn't sure why I told him, but I did anyways. And a week later, we actually ended up kissing, and we kind of became a couple, and decided that we're not really going to talk about what's going to happen in a few months, because it was going to destroy it for us. The rest of the time we'd had together, it would have been terrible. So it was like a relationship with expiration date. But I still love him to death. I still have such beautiful memories with him, and just thinking about him brings me a big smile on my face. So what I learned is that from this relationship is that relationships don't have to be terrible, that you can set boundaries and they can still appreciate it. And there's some people are actually capable of love, because the first relationship, the British guy, didn't give me love. So I thought that everybody's like that. I thought that relationships have to be hard, and you have to struggle, and you have to suffer, and there has to be drama. So my second relationship told me that, no, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be drama. It shouldn't be a struggle. Of course, there's going to be issues, and we had such a great issue, me moving to LA. So just the memory and all the feeling that I get is that it's so nice. So I'm very appreciative for having gone through that relationship and everything that I learned. And as I said, I still love him to death. Shout out to Joseph. I hope he doesn't see. Anyways, after that in the US, I didn't really have a lot of relationships up, small ones, nothing really interesting. I didn't meet a lot of guys, but nothing really that I would consider as another relationship. Unless I forgot one. Oops. Okay, so the last one is not a relationship. It's a big crush that I have on somebody that is more complicated than a novela, literally. So it's somebody that, I'm not going to say names, but I'm just going to talk about the situation. Somebody that I met through a friend, and we ended up living together for a few months as roommates. And it's the way that he treated me. Even though I never told him how I feel, and he never told me how he feels, because he was in a relationship at that time, which was terrible. It's the way he treated me. He treated me like a man, wait for me. He would open the door for me. He would always make sure that we do the things that I want. He would we go to the grocery store, and he would pay for my stuff, and we would have such a great chemistry and amazing connection and amazing we would literally go to the gym together and stay in the car and talk for 30 minutes even though we lived in the same place. So it was, yeah, I would say really great connection. It just felt like I was with the guy, even though, we didn't really have anything together. But yeah, I ended up going back to Miami and I never told him how I felt. Again, I started that thing again that I don't say how I feel. But at the time that we spent together, I was really happy. I don't know, even though, again, we're not in a relationship. I was so happy. Nothing would bother me. My anxiety went away. It is what it is. I mean, he's in a different relationship, and I'm not even sure if it's an actual relationship or if it's more of a sugar baby situation. Even though I knew about it, we never talked about it, and I never asked him because it was such a weird topic, and I had so many questions. But I just felt, it would make like friendship super awkward, and I didn't want to put him. Actually, that's what I think. I never asked him because I didn't want to put him in a bad position that he would have to explain himself. So I just pretended that whatever he has, that it's a different story, that he's a different person with me and he's a different person with that relationship that he's in. So yeah, what I've learned from that is that, what did I learn? I guess I'm still learning because this whole chapter isn't done. Because I texted him today after so many days. Yep, I did. Anyway, so we'll see how that goes. I'll fill you guys in if you're interested. So that's it for today. I think I confessed a lot of things in such a short time. I hope you found this episode fun. I actually had fun filming it. And yeah, just comment about your relationships, your tips, any advice, any fun stories, and subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Mwah.